Hello and welcome to this session. Let's understand and explore what are the offerings and what are the terminologies which we use in Java collection framework. And of course, we will do hands-on. Now, from interview perspective and from your career perspective, Java collection framework is a very important topic to understand. And once you go uh, to the next ladders of your career, understanding Java collection framework is very, very important at every level. Let's get started. So before getting started, let us understand some data processing needs. Now we presume that we understand the object oriented programming concept and class, interface, abstract class, and other things. Now let's say, using this, how can we solve a set of problems? So let's consider HR example. So in your company of any size, small, middle, or small, medium, or large, we have to HR has to maintain the employee list, uh, who is hired, who is resigned, and multiple things, employee transition from one department to other department, promotions. So this data processing is a huge requirement. Payroll processing, incentive balancing, uh, the payroll payments to the third parties and all. So it's again a huge data processing. Leave management is again a very vast topic where employee leave management is a big data processing requirement. So if you see, to solve these kind of problems, uh, just by using the normally available uh, tools, like normally available structures like class and object and interface and abstract class, it may not be sufficient. Why? Because uh, the data processing needs vary based on the requirement, and it has to the programming has to match the requirement. Let us see some other thing. So what are the in general data processing needs you have? So we need to store data, employee data, student data, or any kind of a data. So we need to add some data, we need to delete some data, or insert something, shift something, update something. So these are in general data processing requirement. Now we second point is organizing, ordering the data in a certain way. For example, ascending order, descending order. So consider student data. So at the end of the year, we need to calculate the marks, and we need to know the who is the first rank and second rank. So we need to sort it, or also we need to organize the data in certain order. um, Searching and filtering. uh, so this is again a very good, very commonly uh, common requirement, that we need to search data, we need to filter the data based on certain requirement. For example, if you see your e-commerce website, so there you search for some particular item, then you search for based on price, based on availability, based on ratings, and also we search data, we filter the data, or we sort the data. Of course, we can do with some pattern matching, and we have to do iterating. So this is again a very common data processing requirement. Data with multiple sets. So for example, we have some kind of a data who so it's like one representation or one commonly available item, and then it has lot of information. For example, let's say we search for a shoes on an e-commerce website. So shoes, the result, we get multiple things. So brand, value, uh, the specifications, and very other parameters. So basically we can say it's a key value pair of data where we hold the key, let's say a shoe number or shoe item code, and then that will have a lot of other things, let's say pictures and other things. Data duplication, it is also one of the common requirement for multiple for huge data processing. We might get some duplicate data. For example, in a company, when there is a list of employees, there will be multiple people, there can be multiple people with the same name. So data duplication. Data processing timing consideration is also. So when we search for a data, when we sort the data, when we insert, when we delete, and we do this kind of operation, we also need to think about from timing perspective, that how much time it takes, right? So memory consideration. So of course, memory is an important thing, and we have to be very careful. We have to use optimized memory because our resources are limited. Now there are certain operations, last in first out, first in first out. So I'm just listing out the huge in general required data processing requirements. Optimize data handling and processing, yes, this is also important. So in order to solve these requirements, uh, is there anything which is ready-made available in Java which can be reutilized? So let us see. So that is why we have something called as a collection framework in Java. Okay, so it provides an unified architecture to deal with multiple types of objects, storing the objects or storing the data, manipulating them efficiently. So there is something available in Java collection framework which will try to solve this problem effectively, efficiently. Of course you can design your own thing, but if something is ready-made available, why can't we take an advantage? We will take leverage on that. Second point is it consists of pre-packaged data structure for data processing. So Java have identified some commonly used patterns for data processing, and it has come up with some pre-packaged data structure which is very useful for general data processing. Third point is the collection framework consists of algorithms for data processing in most general and acceptable way. The collection framework has already been in market for a long time, and developers have used it and they have found it that it has a lot of things which can be reused to solve a particular set of problem. And it has also been popular, it is also acceptable in the it is also acceptable in a wide Java community. Technically speaking, what is Java collection framework? It is just a group of interfaces and classes to be reused for general data sorting, data storing, manipulating, etc. So most important is it helps to reduce the development efforts of your software program. This is important. This will give you a good push so that your overall development time is actually very reduced. Right. So having said that, let's see the hierarchy of different interfaces and classes in Java collection framework. So this is a very high level and overall architecture of interfaces and classes available in the collection framework. So the very parent interface, see blue is in interface and green is the class. So very parent interface is called as iterable, and that is extended in the collection interface, and which is again extended by three other commonly used collection framework interfaces. So set, list, and queue. Now there are multiple combinations of this, and uh, every particular collection framework interface or class has its own advantages and disadvantages. So in this session, we will be exploring and we'll be doing hands-on practice for each individual collection framework item, and we will try to understand how it can be used. Now, apart from this set, list, and queue, there are other things also. And in the next session, we have this maps. So map is basically a key value pair, and we will see important classes and interfaces in this map collection framework. Okay, so let us quickly see what is iterable. It is an interface. So iterable is basically for iteration. So the process of repeating of something. So until a specific condition either exists or no longer exists. So we have a list, a huge data, let's say 1000 employees. So we need to search or sort it. So we need to basically do an iteration among all the records of the employee and process it. So for this, we have this iterable interface. An iterable is a simple representation of a series of elements that can be iterated over. So it is basically iteration is just to iterate between different records or elements and process it. So Java iterable interface has this following method: iterator and spliterator, and we have this for each method also. We will see this every interface, every class in detail. Right now we have seen that iterable interface is extended in the collection interface. So collection is an interface. Might be an interview question: what is collection and what is collections? So collections is a class, collection is an interface. What is a collection? It is a root interface of all collection framework, as we have seen in the diagram. It represents a group of objects known as its elements or records or whatever you might want to name it. It is not implemented directly, but through sub interfaces. For example, list, set, and queue. So if you see this chart, this collection interface, so this is all about interfaces here. So this set interface, list interface, queue interface, they are implemented in a particular class. But if you see this collection framework, this collection interface, this is not implemented in any way, but it is again extended to three other interfaces. Okay, so it is not implemented directly, but through sub interfaces, for example, list, set, and queue. Now it includes various methods that can be used to perform different operations on objects. So again, collection interface extends the iterable interface, and it also adds few other abstract methods in collection interface. Let's see. So these are the abstract methods in the collection interface. So add inserts a specified element to the collection. Removes the specified element from the collection. Add all, so adds all the elements of a specified collection to this collection. Add all, remove all. Clear, so removes all the elements. Size, it will give you how many elements are present. And iterator, so this is basically used to, with this method you can implement the iterable iterator, and it will return the iterator to access elements of the collection. Right. So now this is basically the overall introduction of collection framework, and we will be starting to understand individual classes and interfaces in the collection framework, set, list, and queue in the subsequent session. Thank you.